Hey, uh, I have an idea and I wanted to share it with you because it might, I just like to share whatever. But this might help you for in some way. So let's see, nutshell. This is Thanksgiving. And as you know, there's two different versions of Thanksgiving out there. There's one where everybody gets together, like the Norman Rockwell painting, and everybody's gathered around the table, and everybody has their own little quirky quirks, but they all get along and they eat turkey and they just laugh and have a good time together. And that is one version. And then there's another version where, well, there might be three versions, but there's another version where people get together. I've heard of this. I haven't experienced it, thank God. Where people get together and they just like, it's just a shit show. It's a fight. It's a bunch of arguments. I remember one time on a show called The Bear. I don't remember what channel it's on. It's about a restaurant, family of people and this dysfunctional family that the chef is a part of. And anyway, god dang, man, the one scene, I think it was like season 2, the last episode, they were fighting so much at the table that I couldn't watch it. I just am not used to that. I wasn't raised like that. I don't like it. I don't get it. I wouldn't ever want to be a part of it, and I couldn't even finish watching it. It was disturbing me. Anyway, so there's that. And then there's families, I think, that are maybe more like what I experience, which every person in the family is a good person. I mean, fundamentally, they're good people. And everybody really does have a connection, even if the connections aren't necessarily happy or healthy, but it doesn't really cause problems if you actually get them all under one roof in one day. Everybody gets along just fine. We do great. I think because we really do actually love each other, even if sometimes they don't like each other. Like, I like everybody all the time. Seems like, sometimes I feel maybe disappointed or hurt or something, but I don't dislike them. Anyway, so then you either maybe randomly get together if you can. That's always nice. But sometimes you're just like, you know what? Forget about it. And you don't even want to get together. So that's this year. Now, it has happened this way a few different times. I remember one time I was just had it with my family, and my husband and I decided to tell them that we were going out of town for Thanksgiving. And so we rented an Airbnb about 5 miles down the road. It was like an Airbnb that was over a horse barn, and it was a really cute, nice place. And we just avoided the whole family thing, and so those things are out of pain and disappointment. So anyway, for whatever reason, this year, none of it came together. Nobody got together. And I think everybody's just kind of disillusioned, by the way things can be with family holidays. Sometimes it's not always peachy keen, and, everything turns out great and nobody burns the yams, and so anyway, so as much as I have learned or gotten to the point where I don't detest holidays, but I don't also really feel comfortable with them, or I also feel like I like my daily life. I like my life. I like what I do every day. And so I kind of sometimes resent holidays if they come in and get all pushy and intrusive, and I'm expected to do certain things like everybody else does. And I don't like that. I'm not a tradition girl. So I've had a struggle with holidays for couple decades at least. So I'm either all in or I'm all out, one or the other. And this year I'm all out. If I think there's any hope that there wouldn't be some kind of talk or drama, I would do it because I love togetherness. I love having my family under one roof and getting along. I love that. I've always been a big part of my own family, and it's always been more important to me than anybody else in the family that we get together. It seems like nobody else really cares about that. So I've just kind of, put up my white flag, man. Anyway, I can even feel the emotions like choking me up kind of about it, if I'm honest, and I usually am. Okay, so that kind of gives you the backstory. And let me know if you can relate. I mean, I'm sure you guys fall into one of these categories. So tell me what it's like for you and maybe what you've done to get through it. Because there's such a cultural pressure, to do certain things for the holidays. And everybody always talks about like the essence of the holidays, what it's about and everything. Like today, Thanksgiving, it's about gratitude and being thankful. And I mean, I truly am about almost every single aspect of my life. Which is why I think I have a great life, is because I'm so grateful and have so much appreciation for everything in my life. So anyway, that's created my reality there. So as I'm yesterday contemplating today with no people, I do feel the pain, I guess, of not being able to see my family come together. See, I'm gonna cry. So that's okay. That's what happens sometimes with people. Anyway, so I'm contemplating that yesterday, and I'm thinking about, I've also even tried for many years to, like Yoda said in I think it was The Return of the Jedi, train yourself to let go of everything you're afraid to lose. So since that movie came out, whenever that was, probably in the 90s, I've been training myself to let go of the people that I am afraid to lose, so that it doesn't hurt my heart so bad. So, it's like I don't even really know some of you guys, but here I am being all vulnerable. Anyway, so yesterday I'm contemplating that, and on one hand, it's like I can't stand holidays. Why does this always have to happen? And it always like bunches up at the end of the year too. That's annoying. It's like a double barrel thing that happens at the end of every year. Anyway, so then, beating around the bush for some reason. So last night, I go to bed. Oh, I was going to say, okay, on one hand, I don't like holidays. I don't like the imposition. I don't like the pressure. I don't like the disappointment, all that. But on the other hand, I love getting together with my family. I love that. I want to, but I'm also like perfectly okay to be by myself. I like being by myself at home, by myself, alone, doing my thing. I love that. I do that quite often. And I have enough friends and family that I can connect with, for my peopling needs. But, culturally today is a hard day to deny, I guess. So last night I'm thinking in my sleep, like I normally do, I have an idea. So I've been trying to think about spiritual practices that make sense, holidays that make sense according to the energies of the planets and the Earth's seasons. I'm really wanting to learn more and more about that. So I'm watching all those videos and stuff, reading books. And so there's a pagan holiday in October on Halloween called Samhain. And that's where apparently the veil is the thinnest between the ancestors and you. And so it's a really good time to connect with your ancestors. I consider ancestors anybody that died most recently and then back to where, like, I don't know, my great grandma and stuff. So anyway, I decided that it would be a really good idea to today, I'm gonna just have a normal day, and then this evening, after it gets dark, I'm gonna light all my candles, maybe put on some special music in the background. Today I'm gonna print off pictures or get pictures of all of the people that have passed and crossed over. My mom, my dad, my father-in-law, my husband, my pastor, my friends, I'm gonna get pictures of most of them. And I'm gonna just sit down at the table with them and be together and have time with them and talk to them, each one of them. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a really emotional experience. I mean, I can already feel it coming on because, the experience around their death was a variety of deaths, was a variety of things. But I feel very eternity minded. So I just was very disturbed by losing them, of course, emotional. But after they were gone, it was like, okay, well, that happened. And I don't really miss them for some reason. It just feels kind of like the way you feel between phone calls with somebody. That's how it feels. But so I've kind of, I kind of move on. Some of, like my dad, gosh, he died, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. My mom was a couple years ago. My father-in-law was a few years before that. Pete was 5 years ago. My husband. So anyway, there's a lot of them over there. And I know that they're here with me. I know they can hear me. I know that they are watching over me. And this is just an emotional day, I guess. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sit down at the table. I'm going to bring up a picture of each one of them. And I'm going to talk to them. And I'm going to honor them. And I'm going to thank them for the impact that they had in my life. Specifically, I'm going to not just say that. I'm going to be specific about how they impacted my life. And I'm really going to have a heart-to-heart with each one of them. And I think that's going to be really cool. And that will maybe be a new thing that I do on Thanksgiving. It doesn't have to be on Samhain. I could do it then too, but it's almost like developing a new kind of a relationship with them. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm fogging up my own glasses. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And see what you guys have experienced along those lines. See what kinds of ideas crop up for you as I'm saying all that. And let's have a conversation about it. I'll get back to you guys. Maybe if there's thousands of you, I won't, but I doubt that will happen. So anyway, I'm also going to make my famous, it's probably only famous to me, but it's a special pulled pork sandwich where I take jalapeno cheese rolls, slice them, butter them, grill them, and then I put on like pulled pork with barbecue sauce and teriyaki sauce, kind of mix that together, and then slices of raw onion, cheese, and candied jalapenos. Oh my God. And a couple of cold beers to wash it down. Anyway, that's going to be my Thanksgiving feast today. I'm going to do that this afternoon, and then this evening I'm going to sit down with my loved ones and be together with them and be grateful and thankful, because that's what this is about. So basically I'm taking it right back down to the primal connection, I guess. And that feels good to me. So I suppose it wouldn't have happened maybe if everybody was all hunky-dory and getting together. I wouldn't be thinking about that maybe. So I have to be grateful for that, even though it feels, kind of hurts my heart kind of. But I do believe that my family will sort itself out without my help, but with my love, and I like them. And so anyway, all right, I like you guys too, and I'm really glad that you're here. I'm glad that you show up and watch my videos, and I just can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about all of this, because I know you have really important things to say, and you've probably had really important experiences, maybe things that have hurt your heart and disappointed you, and what you've done about it. Anyway, I look forward to hearing those things. So I will talk to you soon, and happy Thanksgiving.